Hello, my friend.
What's up, Mr. Fresh?
How are you, brother?
I'm better than I deserved. How are you?
I could have told you that already. I know that to be a fact about you, that you are better than you deserve.
Absolutely.
So,
Welcome to the worst podcast ever, Van Sage, my man. You said it. Hopefully, we'll have a mishaps. That way, we can live up to that name.
oh, we will. I promise you. We will. We will. That's the
Most,
plan, anyways. Daryl May is in the house.
yeah, the man with three first names. What's up,
Howard
Mr.
Shine Pressure Washing in the house.
Henry, Tommy?
Just reviews.
I like that name.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah, that's not his real name. Just so you know. I'm thinking it's not. That's one of my fresh media customers, so I know his name. But he may not want everybody knowing his name, so I'm not going to say it.
That's cool. I mean, I like the handle, the tag.
Just
The,
refuse.
it's pretty sweet.
We've got a great podcast for you tonight, guys. We've got, I think, a good subject because it's an all around subject. And the idea is some fresh, no pun intended, solid advice for the new guys. But quite honestly, as we know, that sometimes even 10, 15 years in, you're learning some things and you might even forget some things. So some of these will be refreshers for us all. And in the process, we're going to ask you if you would, in the comment section, to leave some solid advice, some things for others, not only now, but in the future as they watch the podcast. They can go through the comment section and they can see some of the advice that you, regardless if you're a first year washer or a 15th year washer, you could leave some solid advice and we'll have that here for infamy forever.
Let's throw it out in the galaxy.
It's out there.
uh,
How was that taco? That you had a tray of tacos from the
yeah,
Mexican place
boy.
today.
Let me tell you, son. I've been hooked on some taco carnitas. Is that what you say? I don't know. Pretty southeastern white guy here. I can't really roll my R's and all that stuff, but more or less pork, right? And man, they are fabulous. And I was like, well, and they come on a corn tortilla. Oh boy,
Solid.
yeah, it's a solid
Van
taco.
asks, "Are you boys stuck in the heat bubble?" Man, I'm gonna tell you,
I live in it.
I'm going to start asking my customers my first opportunity. Can I come at between 7 and 7:30 and get started? I am because when you're an opportunity 4 and 5 and it's 3 o'clock and it's heated and you're tired already and it's so hot, that gets bad.
Yeah, I was pulling pressure washer hose at 8 o'clock this morning, about 8:03, and it was it was warm already then. And luckily for me, the way this scheduled out, we scheduled three houses, very cookie cutter, 17, 2,000 square foot houses in a row. And I'm talking, but my in a row has got like an acre in between, so maybe
you still
2 acres. So you still have to put everything up and drive down and pull it back out again. But we had all three done by 11 o'clock, talking, taking pictures, and all that stuff. And I had my daughter with me, and she watched a little bit. And we're talking house, sidewalks, porch, back deck, house, back deck. So it was, it was a little bit to it. But yeah, like I knew I wanted to be done. So, but Friday we have a very similar situation. Four houses. Actually, there's five, but three of them are in this little same street.
Nice.
Maybe I should say holler. It ain't really a street, but I guess it's a street. But I am going. One of them's a church. So luckily, I'm going to hit that church probably about 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock.
Oh,
Get
nice.
that bit right to the other house, then right to the pastor's house. So
Nice.
yeah, group it up. Maybe have all three of those done by 10 o'clock.
Pesticide stains on stucco. I wonder how you know it's pesticide stains. I think that I would try a little muriatic acid. That would be my attempt, but like a 50-50 mix. I don't know that I've ever even seen that before, my friend.
I've heard about it on vinyl, but never on stucco.
Yeah, like 50-50 mix of muriatic acid and water. That's where I would be at it.
Yeah.
But if you've been watching my channel lately, you know that muriatic acid is my go-to. I don't know if I'm halfway through the year and I'm broke and that's just I'm going real cheap, or it's just working. So that seems to be my magic formula lately.
Whatever you do, just don't leave it on a brush and leave it on a concrete.
This is true. Yes. You won't do that. It'll turn to rust real quick.
Or don't let the homeowner sit it on the concrete.
I'll let the homeowner sit it on the concrete. Yeah, that happened. Hey, look here. This is always, I love good news. Good news, whether I'm involved with it or not. Just landed a job off the 5x7 card we deployed. Fantastic. That was
Congratulations. American Property Stars.
Yeah, I told him when I made those cards, that's probably the coolest name that I've ever heard of. I mean, like that's it right there. I love that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, baby. I like it.
Jeremy, if you could go back and rename your business, what would it be? Or would you?
It's very funny that you say that, because I had a conversation with a customer today on an estimate. And it went a little bit like this. So when I started 4 years ago, I started with Kentucky Lawn Pros. Okay. That was the name for my mowing and landscaping business that just fell apart, that never actually worked. And I was like, gosh, maybe that was just a little bit over 4 years ago with that. That's when we was doing little sidewalks and sheds with a 2.5 gallon or 2.3, then a 3.5, before we were Kentucky Wash Pros. And then I was like, man, what am I going to do? Am I just going to go, am I going to be like Master Pressure Washing or whatever? And I was like, this is
Kentucky Pressure. I like Messer Pressure.
Maybe. But I was like, well, I already had Kentucky Lawn Pros. Well, how does Kentucky Wash Pros sound? I was like, that sounds pretty good. Is there anybody else around here? No, because it was always like, some lawn care company that did pressure washing. I didn't really see any. There was one guy, two guys, one guy named Wash Clean in Somerset. He's a bigger outfit. And then there was Algae Eliminators, which I thought was a pretty cool name too. And that's my buddy Chris. And but anyways, I was like, okay, no one's got this. I'll spin this name because I thought maybe it'd grow bigger than my location. And I be daggone, fast forward 4 years, and there's like 4 other Kentucky something with washing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And 2 of them I've happened to friend 2 of them. Zach's got Kentucky Rescue Pressure Washing. My buddy Eric's got Kentucky All Pro Power Washing.
Yeah.
And then there's somebody in another town over that's Kentucky Shine and Exterior Cleaning. I'm like, I hate that my name is Kentucky now. I hate it.
You should name it Prestige Power Washing or Prestige Pressure Washing.
I really had thought about changing it over to like Premier or something with like a luxury sound to it, like a luxury name.
I like Prestige because our friend Sean Holderman is in the room.
I might even get me a truck with some orange rims.
That would be nice.
Yeah, maybe a flatbed or something like that.
In Kentucky, you could put like a rebel flag across the top. I think that would work. Good. Well, can I tell you what I would name mine if I could go back in time? Now, hear me out.
Are we talking about changing the legal name?
Yes. If I can go back in time, I can change it all. But here's what I would do. Well, first of all, let me tell you where my name came from. Mike's Pressure Washing. You talk about staying up all night long thinking about that one. That one took a while. But in our area, and I think it's kind of my business mantra is the down home feel, and it
Yeah.
just seems like in our area that people aren't as trusting. We're a big small city. No, we're a small big city, right? Like Cincinnati is not a big city; it's a small big city. So,
Okay.
but it's just big enough that people aren't trusting, right? So the
Sure.
handshake thing, we want to do the handshake thing, but we don't necessarily feel like we can do the handshake thing. We've been ripped off too many times to trust the handshake. So
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of give that vibe. So that's where the Mike's pressure washing, as opposed to Premier or something, all those work, but I just really wanted it to be kind of down home. So, and also in our area, Mike's car wash is huge. Like there's probably 50 or more. I don't know how many different Mike's car washes that there are. Big outfit, and so it worked for them, and I think it worked for me. But if I could go back in time, I don't mean to elaborate too far on this, but this is going to sound crazy. So hear me out. This is my favorite name for a pressure washing company, and I've never seen it before, so I've never even Googled it. But here it is. Are you ready? Red Baron Pressure Washing.
Huh.
And Snoopy would be my mascot. And I would have Snoopy on a house with a pressure washing gun, just like his doghouse. And it would be, and I think most people would get it. And would I get sued? Probably, but it would be worth it. Red Baron pressure wash. I'm serious. By the way, if anybody wants to take that one and run with it, you owe me $5, and I swear I'll come get it if you don't send it to me.
Red Baron. So I've heard the name Red in another one, Jonathan Maynard. He has a exterior cleaning that's I think it's called Red Door pressure washing or power washing or exterior cleaning, but Red Door. I was like,
that.
Red Door, that's different. But I thought it was you said Red Baron, so it just kind of that red just kind of clicked in my head.
So I had actually looked into Big Red Machine pressure washing.
Yeah.
For the Cincinnati Reds, the 70s Big Red Machine. And that's a famous phrase around here, the Big Red Machine, of course. That is actually copyrighted and cannot be used. So I went from Big Red Machine, which was absolutely amazing, to Mike's pressure washing. So who knows what could happen?
Who's this guy?
Powerful improvements. Listen, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, that's as lame of a name in the game that you're ever going to hear. Powerful improvements. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. No wonder he can't get a foothold on his community.
Oh, what's up, Joe?
What about that? Interesting. That's interesting right there. Yeah, Buckeye pressure. There is a Buckeye pressure washing around here.
Yeah.
That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, I know a guy that owns Wildcat Pressure Washing. I don't know him. I know of him in Lexington, so that's a good play in the city of Lexington, Wildcat Pressure Washing.
Oh, sure. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, enough tomfoolery, enough silliness. Let me ask you a question.
John's comment.
Best slogan I ever heard. Thick Pin Septic Tank Services. A straight flush beats a full house. I like that. That's pretty good.
That is good. I like it.
It is time now for our segment that we call WWJD. And it's not what would Joe do, even though Joe is in the house. It's what would Jeremy do? And it's where I throw out a situation, a scenario that Jeremy has no idea what it is. And then without any prompting whatsoever, without any warning. He then answers that off the cuff, right or wrong, and then you in the comment section have full liberty to tell him how big of a fool he is, or make a suggestion of your own, or say thumbs up. So today, Jeremy, my WWJD isn't a full-fledged WWJD. I'm just going to tell you what happened to me, and then you tell me what you would do. And I don't think that we've talked about this. This just happened just this afternoon. Okay, so I washed the house today on referral. I've yet to meet the lady. Everything was scheduled over the phone, and it was a full house wash, 2-story house wash, in a small concrete pad in the back. We set on a price. I show up, the whole 9 yards. Now, this house in a neighborhood has no trees around it, so all 4 sides are hammered with oxidation. So you do the whole 9 yards. You know, you wash, but you do the mistance, as I call it, or Joe and I call it, mistance. And she calls back, or she actually sends me a text. Again, I never saw her. She wasn't at home. And I had actually just got home from opportunity number 5 of the day. And it's about 3:30. It's hot. I'm going to jump in the pool. Jeremy, you're going to jump in the pool. You can't wait. And when you get in the driveway, you get a text that says, something's not right. Can you come back? Then when you get back, she points out something on the house that you can't see. Like literally, I look at the house, I look up at the house, and then I look at her, and I look back up, and she says, all that. Okay, now take it from there. What do you do?
I said, okay, ma'am, no problem. Let me go ahead and wash that again for you. And then I go and get a hose with water and I rinse it. And I'm like, oh, how does that look?
What would you guys do?
I might spend like 15 minutes, like if she's not around, just like twiddling my thumb, checking out Facebook. You know, I don't know.
Updating your Facebook profile.
Watch a few YouTube shorts. I don't really know. Make it seem like I did something. Just rinse it down with water. If there's clearly nothing wrong with it. I'm assuming this is the picture of the house of the post that you put out there.
Yes, I did actually post it. Okay,
I would be more concerned about the brick.
I know.
Did a great job. The brick was horrible.
You guys need to go on the pros page. I think
you got to call the masonry back, man. You know who did this? It's horrible.
The brick wall behind you looks better than the brick wall in that house. That's for sure.
Well,
she wasn't talking about the brick. She was talking about the whole siding. She said it doesn't look right. And so I washed it again. I did exactly as you did. I said, no problem. I said, actually rinsed the entire house, and then I left. I have yet to hear anything, but she paid me, so I'm assuming all is well. No, and I'm scheduled in a couple of weeks to wash her mom's house, so I guess we're good.
Find out, right? I think that's a good idea. I've had something like that kind of happen once with a lady. She was a little bit older. She was actually like 85, so I was surprised she actually walked around where she walked around to. And there was a spot, dude, and I could not see. She said that I had blew her siding off. Okay. I had already left and I had stopped back by because we were outside in the driveway. She said, okay, paid me whatever. I left. She calls me about 30 minutes later. I said, hey, I'm already over here. I can stop back by when I'm done here. And I come back by. Mike, I kid you not, dude. The vinyl siding was about that much hanging down. You know how it pushes up in there. You couldn't even see it because I made her come out and show me. I was like, hey, what are you talking about?
Right.
She said, right there. And I said, oh. She said, thank you so much.
Oh, my gosh.
I said, you're welcome. You know, wow. I'm glad it was that easy. But anyways, I mean, I was like,
That's crazy.
yeah. Anyways, I guess, she thought it would be something else, and she's 85, but whatever,
Yeah.
But
We'll
it's
be
fine.
there someday, Lord willing.
I
Big
hope so.
Will's got a question. Would you care to read that one, Jeremy?
I got a roof wash Saturday, metal roof, not very dirty. Do you think I can downstream it with an idle down 4 gallon a minute, 1.8 injector, 12.5%? Well, I don't know why you would idle it down, but if you're downstreaming, but I downstream dirty metal roofs with a 2.1 injector, so I know that's going to be a less concentrated percent than what you've got. So I'd see no problem with that. Question: is it painted? Or what is it? Is it color? If it's galvaluminum, stay away from it.
Stay away from it. Galvalume. Stay away from Galvalume. Charlotte's Corner says, heck yeah, jet it. And I would say the same thing. Two things, Big Will. One, keep it wet.
Yes.
And secondly, in advance, let them know that the shine is not coming back. My friend Danny Salyer in Saltville, Virginia, those are his two things that he does, and he washes quite a few metal roofs. Keep it wet and always tell them in advance the shine is not coming back. If it does come back, we'd rather be pleasantly surprised than thoroughly disappointed. But setting those expectations always helps.
Yeah. In metal roofs, I like to work in smaller sections.
Right.
That way it don't dry.
My last stop today, my last opportunity was a large metal roof. And I told the woman in advance, you will not get the shine back. And she said, that's okay. Just get all that green gone. Now, by the way, it was a green metal roof. So that was tough. But anyways, it came out great. And I downstreamed it, by the way. So downstreaming worked for me.
It's funny that we're talking about metal roofs. I did 3 in-person estimates after we washed 4 things today. And the second one was a metal roof, a seamless. Is that the right word? Seamless metal roof. You didn't have any. You couldn't see the screws.
Yeah, that was the same way mine was today. Yeah,
an expensive roof, a big custom expensive roof on a 6,000 square foot log home. So, but it's not real log; it's concrete log, which I thought was pretty cool. So, here we are. I might be doing a 6,000 square foot metal roof. I'm like, okay, let's go.
I don't care much for them, but
I'm not a fan of metal roofs. I like metal roofs personally.
Sure.
I don't like cleaning them that much because they're a lot more work than a shingle roof.
Charlotte's Corner says, tell them that it's free patina. I like that. Very, very nice.
I'm digging this, man. I don't know who this guy is, but it's all right.
Free patina, or did I just exit out?
What?
What's the best way to clean a home with painted wood siding?
Downstream it? I don't know. I mean, depends on the paint, really. Is it organic? Test spot. Best thing you ever do. Squirt bottle, get some straight or 6%, whatever. Find you an inconspicuous corner or behind the AC unit or something and squirt, just a section, just a small little circle, and make sure it don't have organic pigment in it.
Yeah. Many times I have asked.
That's best advice for the new guy.
That is
solid advice.
That's solid advice for any guy. But when I get a wooden surface like that, if it's obviously covered green, like it just got algae all over it, then it's been years since it has been painted. I don't need to do a test spot. I know that they want that gone, and anything is better than what that looks like, and you're probably not going to have a problem. But if it is just kind of dirty, then I will ask them, hey, how long has it been since you painted your house? If they say 5 or 6 years, I'm like, okay, no problem. And then I ask them, do you happen to know what kind of paint that it was. If they say Sherwin-Williams, I say I'd like to do a test spot, and I tell them because often Sherwin-Williams will have an algicide patina. I just got that in my head. Pigment in it, and it will cause some discoloration. So I let them know in advance that this could possibly happen. Then I do the test spot. And in 10 years, I've never had an issue, but I know that others have.
Yeah. So, Chris, here is a good picture of being able to downstream a home. Is it clear? That's painted wood, and that you can just downstream that, dude. I mean,
I would too.
That's pretty bad, but it's going to come out clean. It's going to look great.
Yeah,
because they're like, hey, we were going to paint this house. I don't think we're going to paint this house now. I'm like, I probably don't need to.
Wow.
So you can just pay me what you were going to pay the painters, and I'll be happy.
That's exactly right.
Pay me for painting.
I wash for a painter regularly, at least 2 or 3 times a week. I wash for the same painter, and I have had a number of times people say, I think I'm not going to have it painted. I'm like, no, don't do that. Absolutely have it painted because I'll lose my job. So,
yeah.
Well, we're talking about advice for the new guy, and this is, again, a broad subject. We could do this every single week and never really touch on everything. I have a couple of things that just come to mind very, very quickly. But Jeremy, maybe you've got something like if I were to ask you, what's the like at the very top, what's the top advice that you would give to a newcomer? And before you answer that, let me just say this real quickly, that if someone asks me that question, it can be different on Monday than it is on Tuesday and Friday. It really has a lot to do with my mood at the moment and what situation I just had to overcome. But I also have something that's universal. But what do you think, Jeremy?
I don't know. That's a good question. I got something that I want to say, and I don't know if it's the right thing to say. Then again, is it really a wrong thing to say? I don't really know. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. Don't get in the way of yourself. Because I know there's so many guys out there that you can see in these Facebook groups, and you can see these conversations, and by golly, it's like, it's not rocket science. And they're so blown away with analysis paralysis. And it's just like they overcomplicate the most simplest thing that you can do when washing a house. They're so scared of putting some chlorine, some bleach, Clorox, whatever you want to refer to it as, shock, whatever, on someone's house and rinsing it off. And there's thousands of us guys on there who give advice, who show the pictures, who would be willing to talk to you. And it's just like they psych themselves out. Just don't psych yourself out, dude. Someone said they had a 7,000 square foot deck. Yeah, that would probably suck. But it's like, that's a pretty big size deck. That's a big deck. But it's like, you get these guys who look at these big houses, but you look at the big houses the same you look at the little houses. It's just one side at a time, one bite at a time. Just get out of your way. I don't know if that's the best piece of advice that I would give to everyone, but just don't overcomplicate the simple things.
If I can elaborate on that, not to add anything to it, but just to kind of accentuate what you just said there. On the flip side of the coin, don't worry about it too much either. I kind of think that's what you're thinking, because that's what guys are doing, is that they're scared to death that they're going to mess this up. Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, you are going to mess some things up. Yeah. And if we had a university or a college or a tech school that everybody had to go to in order to become a pressure washer, upon graduation, you're going to wash your first house, your first business, and you're going to mess something up, right? So I hear Jeremy saying that it's going to happen. Just learn as you go those things. And then another way of saying it might be this. I've learned not to worry about the callbacks. I got the call back today, and I just didn't even think about it. I told the lady, because I'm going out of town tomorrow, I said, hey, is it okay if I just go ahead and come back now? And here's what I assumed, Jeremy. I assumed if it rained tonight, it was going to be okay tomorrow.
Yep.
Because I've had so many of those that have said, I've got these streaks, I've got these spots, this what's going on. My house looks terrible. And then it rains that night. I go back the next day and we're looking at each other bewildered.
Yep.
And so
Same.
I've learned just not to worry about
it. Yep. Yeah. I see Chris says he started 3 weeks ago after several months planning. I've learned so much in a little time. I love it. And there's nothing wrong with planning and learning and educating yourself. Like, that's what you need to do. But you're never going to learn it until you do it. You know, you're just not going to know until you know. Right. And I think that's what I'm getting at. It's like there's so many people that start or want to start or try to start or talk about starting or talk about talking about trying to start, but they just don't do it. So hats off to you, man, for doing that.
Yeah, and of course, Mike says the things in the Lord's hands. Don't worry about it. And by the way, let's suppose that the lady was right today, and that I had ruined her siding. Now, that's not what she said, but let's suppose that I had ruined her siding. What am I going to do about that? I'm going to paint the house. Well, it was vinyl, so I'm not going to paint. I'm going to replace whatever happens is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I know we're scared to death to burn an outlet. You're going to have to replace some outlets. It's just going to happen. You're not going to want to cover their camera, and you're going to ruin you're going to have to buy a camera. But once you do it, you'll learn as you go, and you just stop worrying about it so much. Here's a great one.
Or you're going to kill 6 koi fish at someone's koi pond.
I got
and here's a good thing. Let me share this. My wife wanted me to share this last week because we talked about customer service, right?
Right.
So here's what happened. I've never killed a fish in 4 years. I killed 6 fish at this woman's house about a month ago. Little bitty plastic Walmart pond or Lowe's or whatever, right by the front stoop of a split level house. So it had like a little bit of an overhang. Siding, I mean, it wasn't this far away from the siding. So like by default, it's coming back. I walk over there, I look, I see nothing. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is just here. There's nothing in there. I just let in. I'm just spraying. I did not cover it because I did not see fish. And then I'm spraying this, and I go around, and I'm spraying 2 sides because it's fairly early in the morning. It's like, 8 o'clock. Everything's cool. I'm doing a couple sides at a time. I come back around, and I'm rinsing, and there's a fish. Like, is this a good fish?
You look like a fish. You look like a little bluegill. Kentucky bluegill. It's not Kentucky bluegrass. It's Kentucky bluegill. I love it.
Yeah. So anyways, seriously, there's 6 kois in this little koi pond. I guess that's what they're called. Ain't they koi fish, whatever? And whatever they are. And they're just huffing. I run to the truck. I'm getting out my neutralizer. I'm mixing it up. I'm dumping it in there. I'm like, please take this out. Fix this. Nothing. They die. They're just belly up, son. All 6 of them. Woman's out of town. Try to call her. Couldn't answer. Send her a message. She calls me, and just for reference, this was like a very simple little $400 house wash or $425 or whatever. These fish were 6 fish at $40 a piece. So if you want to do your math, that's like 2 something, right? 240. I don't know. Somewhere in that area. So she's like, I apologize. She's like, we've only had them like 2 weeks. She said, I said, I was just so concerned there was like sentimental value or something. She's like, no, we just picked them up. I said, I looked in the pond, and I said, looked over in there. I said, I didn't see anything. She's like, no, they're very skittish. Like if like they sense that you're around there, like they dive. I said, well, I understand that. They sure do. They don't dive no more. But I told the woman, I said, I've already sent you the invoice. I said, I've already canceled it. You don't owe me anything for this house wash. And she was trying to pay me the difference, that she still owed me. And I was like, no, like we made a mistake here. We're not going to worry about it. Take the money, buy you some more fish, buy you some extra fish. Like it was like 40 minutes of my time and 5 gallons of chlorine. Or,
Right.
like I would rather her want to use me again because she knows that I will make things right if something goes wrong.
Yeah. Right.
And she was appreciative of that. And so maybe that's some solid advice for you on a customer service or situation. If you mess something up, how are you going to fix it? Just do the right thing. Do the right thing. It's that simple. But anyways, get off that soapbox. You said you had a question or had a comment or something.
Well, I'm just kind of going down through here, and I'm just going to kind of pull some of these out. There's no way we're going to be able to get to all of them in our time tonight. But this is great podcast tonight. Charlotte's Corner says, are you guys running Outlaw or do you have insurance? This is a great segue to another solid advice. Always have insurance. Insurance is cheap. Now, somebody else in here talking about New York, it's expensive. I do get that by cheap, what we mean is it's subjective, but compared to having to pay someone's house, I caught a house on fire once. Like I fried an entire, like it looked like the circuit breaker box looked like burnt marshmallows all the way down through there. Fortunately for me, the homeowner said, don't worry about it. We just needed an excuse. We've been wanting to do all new electric anyways. We've got the money saved up. We just need an excuse. And it was July and it was hot. And I said, thank you, Jesus. Now, this has probably been 5 or 6 years ago. But my insurance would have paid for that. Now, you don't want to turn everything in on insurance, but that's what you've got insurance for. So, yes,
make sure you get those big mishaps.
Jess Review says, have you guys burned plants? You ever burned any plants?
Have you? I did. I had a big roof wash, one of my first big roof washes. They had all underground gutter, and this one section of gutter, the homeowner had decided to plant about 10 hydrangea plants in a row that just so happened to be on top of this gutter. And she's like, I think you've killed my plants from the overspray. I said, there's no way that I've killed your plants from the overspray of where this is. If it would have been and the thing is, these were up against the house and then they went away from the house. And it wasn't the ones up against the house that was dead. It was like 5, 6, 7. You know what I'm saying? Like out in the middle. I said, this has got to be a problem of a leaky gutter and, drainage. Like this is coming from the root up. And I offered to pay for them. She's like, well, she said, these are pretty tough. They're pretty tough. Let's see what goes on. I said, well, you just let me know and we'll get someone out there to fix it. I didn't even know how much it was going to cost, but I knew what I charged her. Like I was very well able to buy 3 hydrangea plants and, hey, go out there and dig them up, fix them myself or pay someone to do that. But I did. They ended up coming back. I called her. I texted her like maybe 2 months later. I was like, hey, I was just following up on those hydrangeas. She's like, oh, yeah, they're coming back. No worries.
Well, good for you to check back.
Yeah, well, you just got to do that. You got to let people know you care, man.
Well, I've got a real quick story. So maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, I washed a house. And this is crazy, guys. I now use a neutralizer called Post Rinse, and I forget where I get it, but I can maybe.
Hey, race time.
Yeah, Racenstein. I get it from Racenstein. That's right. Comes in a 5-gallon bucket. Now I don't use it a lot, but I put it in a pump sprayer and I spray, afterwards. It's post rinse, and it's supposed to neutralize. What I did not know is that you're actually supposed to dilute it. Well, I didn't know that. So here I am, 10 years in, I'm confessing that things still happen. Okay, so this is a good place for us to learn that stupid things still happen. So I get a text from the homeowner with a absolutely fried Japanese maple. Just one of those small ones, not the big one. This was a dwarf. And it's supposed to be small. And it's absolutely fried. I didn't even tell them how it happened because it's almost unbelievable. But I actually cooked it with neutralizer. Because I know I neutralized the snot out of this thing, and it absolutely fried it.
Literally.
So guess what I did today? Today I bought them. It was $233. I bought them a Japanese maple. They're going to plant it. I'm sending them the money. But you know what? Sometimes you just have to do it.
It happens. It happens. Like this morning, the first house we watched, there was plants everywhere. And I was like, man, it's going to be a scorcher today. We were watering everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone was asking a question I think Jeremy should jump on. It's this one right here.
Opinion on your Predator engine for your 8-gallon. Mixed feelings. We no longer run Predators at all. If that tells you anything. However, it ran really good last year. No complaints at all last year. Once I figured out the fuel issue.
Right.
I was having fuel issues this year that could not be resolved. That I could not resolve. Carburetor's fine. Jetting's fine. Fuel pump's fine. And when I say fuel pump, I use a 12-volt low-pressure fuel pump. So it's getting fuel. Just won't stay running. It's like it's running out of fuel. Check the oil sensor. Check the fuel shutoff solenoid. Perfect. Everything's fine. I don't know. It just won't stay running. And I got pissed off and bought me a GX690, and I've been running that for not even close to a week, not even a week. I don't know. I got about 13, 14 hours on it. And there's daylight and dark difference in it, man. Like it's just spend the money.
Just spend the money. Do you mind me asking you spent how much you paid for the 690?
Okay, I'll break it down for you even better. $1,750 for the engine from North Georgia Airless, $180 for the muffler, $180 for shipped.
Okay.
So whatever that is, $2,100 something, somewhere in there. I don't know. So it is double the Predator, but I know that I'm going to get thousands of hours out of this thing if you just change the flipping oil.
Yeah.
Just change the oil. How many hours is on yours?
On me?
Yeah.
On my 8 GPM, the 690, I have 2,316 hours as of today.
Yeah, I seen someone posted in one of the groups that they had like 34 or 3,200 hours on theirs. Yeah. So I know that it's going to be just fine.
I've seen over 4,000 hours on a 690. I don't think that's unheard of. Mike asked about my 10 GPM machine. Mike, you may not have seen the post, but I got it up and running. It's solid. I've been working it for the last 2 days. And the problem all along was when I bolted the skid down to my rig, to my bed of my rig, I didn't realize that I had pinched the hot wire. I just didn't realize it. And over time, that it had rested on the hot wire, and over time it rubbed a hole through it, so I had a dead short underneath the machine, and that's why I couldn't figure it out. I could not see a problem. So I had to unbolt the machine. I tilted it forward, and right there in daylight, I saw a complete shredding of the hot wire. Replaced the hot wire. It works like a new one. Thank you for asking. Mark Scholler says Benjamin Gregory may be 7,000 to 10,000 hours on his.
I don't think his machines turn off. I think they're just on 24/7.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I bet he's probably got like 10,000 hours on MARs though. That's the Comet. He's a big Comet guy.
Mr. Bubbles has 4,500 on his.
It's just worth it, man. You know, I probably had, I don't know how many hours I had on that Predator, but I had a lot. I'll say I didn't have a lot, but it probably had, I don't know. I'd say like 1,000 hours. I don't think it was 1,000 hours. It was probably in the 600 range or something like that. But, or maybe a little bit more, 750. But then I'm like, you know, 750, it cost me $1,000. And I really have anything to complain about compared to what it made me. You know what I'm saying? I don't.
And it's a solid backup. Like if you have to throw it on the rig, it's there, right?
Yeah, it's sitting on the table. I've debated on breaking it down to see what's going on. But the problem I noticed is something's not right, because the oil's fine. Like I said, the oil level's fine, but like I'm getting oil back into my carburetor, and then I noticed that like my air filter it had some oil in the air filter, so something's off. Yep. I don't know what it is, but something's off.
Yep.
Yes.
F. Trevino says, been doing window cleaning for 8 years, never broke a window until last month. All of that to say that in 8 years, we still make mistakes. I think that's what he's getting at.
Yep. Solid. Yeah.
Right, Power Wash. Any tricks for getting barbecue grill stains off decks? What kind of deck is it?
I think Tim McGraw knows how to get it off a white T-shirt.
That must be Kentucky.
Barbecue stain on a white T-shirt. She was killing me in that mini skirt.
Yeah, I think that Scott. I think this is subjective. It's all opinionated. If it's got stainless internals, I say go for it. That's where I'm at with it. I pay way too much for the Suttner ST 2700. And right now I've got a little issue with it. I got a little click in it that I'm not real happy with. And I took it apart and I lubed everything. Of course, it's all enclosed, so there's nothing really to lube. But I did, and still got that little click that I'm not real happy with. And I think I paid $115 for that gun, which is a little on the hefty side. And then I've got a backup little. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know what it is. It's a little blue gun.
How many washers you got on it though?
Oh gosh. How many watt? Nearly 1,000.
Okay.
Easy.
Okay.
I'm not saying it wasn't worth it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got 1,000 washes on that gun. Easy.
You've what's that? 10 cent a house?
Yeah, something like that. That's a great question, by the way. You just pulled that one right out, didn't you?
I did.
Pulled that one right
out. Because I look at that. Those are disposable items to me. So I'm just like, guns are just disposable. I seen someone complaining about a hose and they only had it like a year and a half and it had bust. And I'm like, what are you complaining about?
Right.
You ought to be thankful. You get 6 months out of a hose, you ought to be thankful. It's disposable. You plan on it breaking because it's going to break.
I don't know how to.
That's just like I ordered 55 quick connects and plugs and couplers and sockets. And I told Mike, I said, tell me you spent some money without telling me you spent money. And I sent him a picture of this big old bag full of them. And it's just like, you just got to have them. You just got to pay for it. It sucks. But there they are.
Got some new comments here. see here. Okay, so Bright Power Up Washing was asking about the barbecue stains. Let's go back up here. And any tricks for getting barbecue grill stains off decks, simple grease stains, etc. And he says it's a Trex deck. So I have had issues, and believe it or not, Dawn dish detergent has worked wonders for me. Obviously, it's grease picker upper, or I don't know. I don't know.
Bounty, dude.
I don't know their slogan, but if it's Trex decking, I've had great success with just straight up Dawn dish detergent. Believe it or not.
Yeah. I mean, it saves the ducks, man.
It saves ducks.
It saves ducks. If it saves ducks, it can save decks. That's about a tongue twister right there.
Roger the Tinker says he's got 3 years out of one hose so far. That's awesome, man. You know, I buy my hoses cheap. I do. I'm kind of cheap on that, just because it's so. Like, I order it today, I get it tomorrow from Amazon. That's why. Yeah. Yeah. Heat stroke will melt your mind, brother. Stay fluided out there. Hey, that's a good place for some advice. Remember this, guys, when it comes to hydration. Today's hydration is for tomorrow. So what you drink today is the hydration that you will receive tomorrow. So if you're hydrated or dehydrated, you can't get rehydrated by downing some fluids. You won't feel that for many, many hours later. So what you drink today will hydrate you tomorrow. And don't forget that. Here's another tidbit. Another real quick tidbit on that note is your tongue is the last place to lose hydration. And it's the first place to feel hydration. Now, let me kind of qualify that. Your tongue is the last place to lose hydration. So by the time you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. Know that. We think that, okay, I'm thirsty, I better get some fluids in me, and you should, absolutely, but you're already dehydrated. And just because you drink fluids doesn't mean that you're hydrated, because your tongue is also the first muscle to get hydration. So you've got to stay hydrated throughout the day so that tomorrow you can be hydrated, so that the next day you can be hydrated, so forth and so on. That's out there. You can do what you want.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would most encourage you, though, to drink at least at night before you go to bed, a bottle or two of water, like before you go to sleep.
Absolutely.
I always do. I mean, I might get up a time or two, but it's trying to keep it, like you said, hydrated. Rinse it.
I do when necessary, and yes, it does work. A couple of ounces to a 2-gallon bucket, and it works. I got a customer calling me right now. Not sure why she's calling. I'm not going to answer it. I should have answered it.
You should.
I should have answered it live.
Pick it up.
I have a feeling she didn't know she was calling me. I can't believe that woman's even up this late. So.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, drink lots of Gatorade. Charlotte's Corner said, it's true. You not only need water, but you need electrolytes.
Yeah. IV, what's that called? IV water? What do they call that? There's some kind of mix that you can put in your powder.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Boy, it tastes like. I've been drinking Gatorade. What's it called? Gatorade electrolytes. Gatorlyte. That's what it's called. Gatorlyte. Yeah. It's got like a salt taste to it in a sense. Liquid IV. Yeah. You know, it'd almost be nice. And I'm sure not everyone would be up to it, but like, I wish I could just have me like some IV stuff. I would just like straight up, if I got that bad out in the field, I'd just give myself an IV, which I know that's probably not in everyone's wheelhouse to be able to do that, but that would be really handy.
You go ahead and talk. I'm going to listen to my customer's message.
Oh, God.
Okay, here we go. This is great, guys. This is great.
Mike, this is Beth Kuiper. I had it on my calendar that you were coming today to pressure wash the barn, and just wondering if I missed something somewhere, but if there's another time. So if you could give me a call back or text me, let me know. I'd appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.
So that's live and in color. I just got a message saying, Mike, where were you today? Well, I know for a fact that this woman is misunderstood because I'm very good with scheduling, but I am going to just for the sake of the podcast, I'm going to look up our last text here to see what. This is good. This is quality stuff right here.
This is awesome. It's real, man. You know, I don't know if you did forget, but like, I was so nervous today when I was watching those three houses because there was another house. I'm like, which house does this guy live in? Like, am I at the right house?
Yeah, I forgot. Sure enough, June the 19th, I was supposed to be there today to wash her barn, and I didn't show up. So I'm anxious to go back in my calendar and see when I actually scheduled her. It happens, guys. It happened. It's the worst podcast ever.
There we go.
Mike's overbooked and underpaid. You got that right, brother. You got that right.
Man, on my head, son.
Oh, she's just this woman I've been washing for 5 years. She'll be okay. She was not always that way, but sure enough, I told her June 19th. So I must have scheduled. I bet I scheduled it for July 19th.
Yeah, I typed out June. I meant July. Sorry.
Yeah. I'll have to apologize for that one. They're
Are you watching a barn?
She's going to paint the old. It's not much more than than an outbuilding or a shed, maybe twice the size of your barn, your outbuilding. You know, where you put your lawnmowers.
Yeah, I got you. That's good stuff.
Pressure washing.
You're nice though, because my phone goes on do not disturb at 8 o'clock. Like, I have a handful of people who can actually get a message or a phone call through to me.
Yep. Mine goes off at 10 o'clock. It's true.
Yeah.
So this one's interesting. Have you ever seen Mike Vadan talk to customers on the phone? I have seen a few of those videos. Yep. Sometimes it's pretty cool. I will also say that Mike Vadan interviewed me last night, so I will be on his next video. So maybe tomorrow, Friday, sometime or another, be looking at the Fresh Rinses on Mike Vadan's channel.
Fresh Rinse, baby. Yeah.
All right. Have y'all ever done a promotion where you donate part of the proceeds to a local or global organization or charity? I love being able to support these organizations. I love, but feels scummy to profit off of it. I watch churches, and churches are nonprofit organizations. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I wash for Granny Smith down the road and for free, so it's subjective, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with washing for churches. Here's my thought is you're supposed to take care of God's building, and it's the church's responsibility and the members' responsibility, and that's part of it. I mean, they got to pay the electric bill. They got to pay all these other bills. They got to pay for the maintenance and the upkeep. So that's just part of it, man. Got to mow to have the grass.
They've got a budget for stuff like that. I've been a pastor I've been preaching for 32 years. I'll tell you, churches have a budget, and they It's okay to charge them for that. Austin Blount, who's probably never watched our program before, who's a friend of mine. I know him. I know Austin Blount. He's my buddy.
Does that guy even wash?
He doesn't even wash. Look at him. He's got a shirt, but he doesn't even wash.
That's good stuff.
Well, I've got a bit of advice that we might use to kind of hit the eject button on. And I've been anxious to share this. Not that we need a drum roll, but we've been talking about so many things. I don't know that this is going to move the scale any at all, but if in fact it'll be on Mike Vadan's podcast where he interviewed me. If you were to ask me, Mike, what's your greatest advice for new guys, it would be this. I would encourage every new guy, your first year washer, let's suppose. You're a first year washer or a second or even a third, but certainly an early washer. Find 4 other guys on your wash level. Maybe they're local or you have to use social media to find them, but find 4 other washers who are on the same level. So if you're a first year washer, find 4 other first year washers to network with, to have in a text group or a Facebook chat group, so that you can ask them questions and you can ask someone and fellowship and network with someone, 4 others at least, who are on the same page as you are, who are on the same rung of the ladder as you are. And there are a few reasons why we might do this. One, it's because because they're on the same rung of the ladder that you are, they have the same amount of time available to them as you do, for the most part. So you're not bothering the senior washer, the guy who's got a lot of years behind. You feel like you're bothering him. You're not bothering me, but you feel like you're bothering the the veteran washer. But if you're networking with 4 or 5 guys and you're all on the same ladder, you're not bothering them. In fact, they want to meet with you. They want to talk shop. They're excited about it. And I say that because Jeremy will tell you 5 years in, after you're washing for the day, you really don't want to talk about washing anymore. Like you just don't want to talk about it anymore. And here we are at 10 o'clock talking about it. But after you have so many years vested, you really, it becomes a part of your life and you're learning, but you're not learning at the same rate that you are when you're a first year washer. Yeah. So first year washers, all they want to do is talk about it. So now you have a group of people that want to talk shop all the time. Another reason why this group is so beneficial is because when you're on the job and you can't get your engine to start and you don't know who to call, you can call these guys. They're anxious to talk to you. When you can't get that stain to be removed, you've got someone to talk to about it. And then I'll finish with, I'm going to make a whole video on this, by the way, like a long video. But probably the high mark of having this select group of 4 or 5 washers that are on the same level as you is because within that group of 5 washers, you're going to have 1 or 2 that are going to excel above all the other washers. And you get to watch them grow. You get to watch them grow bigger and better than you are at a faster rate than you are. And it's nice to be able to see someone that you can compare yourself to legitimately. So without flaunting in any way, I can only imagine that when people see Jazzy, they feel when the first year washer sees Jazzy, my truck, they probably feel the same way that I did in my first year when I saw big rigs. And I thought, man, I'll never have that. I mean, like that's so far out of my league. I can't even imagine having such a thing. And they just can't even, it doesn't even fall within their imagination that they'll ever have that. But when they see one of their peers graduating at a little faster rate than they are, then they can look at that and say, hold on, he started the same time I did, and he's able to do this. He's washing 4 and 5 houses a day, 5 and 6 and 7 a day. I mean, if he can do it, then I can do it. And it doesn't seem so far-fetched when your own peers are seeing advancements right beside of you. And you get to call them and say, man, how did you do that? How are you landing jobs? What's your secret? And they're excited to tell you because you kind of grew up together. So it's almost like having college roommates. You get to watch them excel. You get to see their progress, and you get to do it alongside of another washer. So my all-time advice for new washers is to fellowship or network with 4 or 5 other guys on the same level and watch your business grow with theirs.
Oh yeah, it's an accountability thing too.
Absolutely.
And that's a lot. That's a lot. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And these guys, and here's what's funny. Here's what's funny when Mike says that is that you're if you're new and you're getting in it, you're just gonna find these people, and it just kind of happens naturally with interaction. And it's like, and my wife says it. She's like, you're so weird. She's like, some of your best friends that you talk to daily or, three or 4 times a week. She's like, you didn't even know these people like 3 or 4 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. And you talk to them almost every day. And I was like, I do. I don't know what it is. It's just like you have a drive, you have something in common. And it's so true because sometimes your group of friends, the people that you associate with, or they might not understand your mindset, your beliefs, your vision as being a business owner, as being an entrepreneur, because that's not for everybody, man. People just want to go punch the clock, get a check, go to the house, have a good time, go to the lake, whatever. Like, hey, have a good time. But like the ambition is just different from, what might be your normal circle or the circle of people that you had before into this new circle that you're developing and growing with. Like, they're going to push you. You're going to push each other by default. Hey,
That's
man,
right.
I just got this 5,000 square foot house, or man, I just got Costco. Like, I just seen my buddy doing Costco on his stories earlier. I'm like, God, he got Costco. Like, I'm not nowhere near it, but like, it's a big building. Like, dang it.
Yeah.
What am I going to do to get better? That's nice. What I think. I am ultra competitive as far as like, I don't want to be outdone. I'm happy for people's success, but it pushes me to want to do more and do better.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I get driven. It drives me to want to do better and more when I see other people excelling. And I also celebrate their success. Listen, we have probably 110 guys in our local group. And when I see them doing domes, like sports domes, when I see my guys, the guys I network with doing Great American Ballpark, man, I get excited. Now I say to myself, man, I would kind of like to do that. They got the call, and it's exciting. I love to see that. Now, Charlotte's Corner says this: just network with Mr. Bubbles. He's a top guy. Now, you threw that out there, and I love the comment. I will tell you this: you're 100% correct. Mr. Bubbles is a top-notch guy. It's good to have that level of washer in your pocket, like last-ditch effort. I'm going to call him because I'm really stuck. But you're not going to get all the same benefits with Mr. Bubbles that you're going to get with a group of the guys that are in your sorority. How about that? The guys who are in your sorority that you can network with and you can buddy with, who are going to stay up all night with you, who are going to meet you for breakfast if you're local. Just today, how about this? Just today, I got a call from a lady who said, I need my pool deck washed by the 29th. I said, I'm sorry, I can't do it. I said, however, I've got a network of guys that I can reach out to, and I guarantee you I can get your pool deck washed by the 29th. She said, would you mind doing that? I put that out there. She's scheduled, and it's good to have a network of people that you can associate with. So yeah, Mr. Bubbles, top notch, but it's good to have in your pocket so that you can, as a last ditch effort. But if you really want to connect with guys who are on your same level.
Makes a difference.
Absolutely. I believe it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Great night. Great podcast.
What? Oh, Elijah, you crazy, man. You shut up.
You're crazy.
Wow. You crazy, man. Crazy. Crazy. Let's see.
We'll go through a few more before we pray and hit the eject button.
Yes, sir. Yes, I have early morning planned again.
Yeah, I'm headed to Virginia tomorrow after work. I have 3 washes tomorrow morning. I'm going to wash those.
He might have a barn too now.
Well, I might have to go watch that barn. I don't know. I'm hoping not. I've got her scheduled for some time. I just have to figure out when it is. And Jeremy, if all the stars align,
that barn better not get in the way of the dinner, man.
I hope that you and I have dinner tomorrow night. What's the name of the place where we're eating?
Smoky Bears.
Smoky Bears. We're going to eat at Smoky Bears tomorrow night.
Bears.
Anybody else in the Kentucky area who wants to eat with us, you're more than welcome to. In fact, we'll be humble enough to let you buy our meal. Smoky Bears tomorrow night, probably around the 6 o'clock.
Well, Elijah, you're not that far, about 40 minutes. You're welcome to come to Smoky Bears in Corbin tomorrow and pay for dinner, and I will share my information with you.
Well, thank you, Jason. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. F. Trevino says, I went to a soft wash systems class last year. A few of us are in touch with each other. Push each other. Yep, I like that.
And that's another thing. He's talking about this class. Guys, I would say, in all honesty, is go to some of these like these events, okay? The huge convention's coming up in August. You do pay for it to go, but you can make friends. And like I met a guy my very first year. He's in Georgia. He does a lot of roof cleaning on the luxury homes on a lake. And I still talk to this guy. Well, we don't talk every day. We don't even talk weekly, but we text back and forth every so often, just checking in, seeing how things going. And like he's gave me a job before, and it wasn't a small job from someone that he knew in Kentucky. Like he said, hey, call this guy. You know, it was a $4,500 job that he sent me. So I was like, you know, thanks. If I ever know anybody where you're at, I'm sending them to you for sure, bro. But like, it's nice to, when you go and you meet these people, and there's new people that go to these events. There's people who's been in here 30 years ago to these events. There's a huge a thing of it, but it's nice to know, because I've been to a couple different ones. There's even a free one coming up in November in Florida at Panama City Beach. It's 2 days. It's a free event through Panhandle Power Wash. Maybe we can get Trudy on the show. I'm sure she will come, and we can talk about some of the details of that coming up. Yeah. But dude, it's the networking and the friends you make makes a difference in your business. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'll elaborate on that for just a moment and say that August the 17th in Dayton, Ohio, at the Prestige Pressure Washing office and headquarters at Sean Holderman's shop, a whole bunch of us are going to meet, and it's going to be called a rig blessing. We're actually going to do it next year again in the spring, early. Makes more sense, but we're just came up with the idea. And we've got a bunch of us that are going up. Bless you. Everyone's bringing their rigs. We're going to have bouncy houses. We're going to have some vendors there to show off some of their equipment. We're going to have food galore. And then we're going to circle the rigs, and I'm going to pray over all of the rigs for safety and profitability and all of those good things. We're calling it a rig blessing. So that's August the 17th in Dayton, Ohio. If you're able to make it, we'd love for you. I'll continue to remind you of these things, but we would love to have you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right,
we need to get real handy and have like a slide with the date and the time and the location with like a picture of the shop. Maybe a picture of Sean, I guess. I don't know. Maybe Sean on there. No.
Not so much.
I don't want to scare everybody away, but
that's it. Well, Jeremy, last week you had to hit the eject button, and I prayed. It's your turn to pray, my friend.
Okay, if that's what you say, then I'll take you at face value. All right, all hearts and minds are clear. Let's go to the Lord. I may click off of that because I didn't mean to click there. Heavenly Father, Lord God, we thank you for the opportunity to gather tonight, Lord, and fellowship in your name, Lord. And we just are very thankful for the opportunities that you've gave us and you've blessed us with in this journey on this entrepreneurial life, Lord. We just pray that you'll continue to watch over us as we go out throughout our day and provide for our families, Lord. Just a hedge of protection around us and all of our fellow washers. We thank you for your son, Jesus, for the love that he's gave us and that he laid his life down for us. We just pray for those that are in trouble and hurt and going through something, Lord, that they may not have spoke up about, and you know their needs, and we pray that you will provide, Lord, because we know you will. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. God bless you guys. We'll see you next Wednesday night, 9:00. We look forward to it. Have a good night.
Absolutely. Have a good one.